Raise your hand if you found yourself saving or buying things thinking, I could make this look cute. And before you know it, you have a pile of stuff that you've realized you've never done anything with. Me too. Welcome back, I'm Christine. Let's face our fear of trying new things by painting on these random objects. If you have any of these items at your house, I encourage you to paint along with me. This is the perfect opportunity to experiment, and some of these objects might even improve your skills as an artist. Let's start with this mini canvas. I decided to create some splatters using two of my favorite colors, magenta and cyan. I watered down the paint a little bit and flicked it onto the surface. I even blended them together to create my favorite color, purple. Mini canvases aren't a crazy random object, but I chose it for this video because a small painting will force you to focus on details and refine your techniques. It'll also help you gain control over your brush. Of course, if you drink a lot of coffee like I do, precision might not come so easily. I'm painting butterflies because I'm constantly fascinated by them. I think they're effortlessly beautiful, and the fact that they go through a series of transformations and turn into something so strong and delicate has always been inspiring to me. One of these butterflies managed to get trapped inside of a jar, and its friends are trying to help guide it into the hole in the bottom so it can escape. This painting looks a little flat, so I added some yellow to the mix. I'm also not happy with how the wings look. I'm gonna change those as well. I was unhappy with this painting, but then I remembered it's this big. There's no reason to be critical over something so small. Oh, I forgot to mention, I painted the edges of my canvas a dark purple. So I have this piece of wood that I thought was a good idea to buy 5 months ago. I'm gonna start by sanding it down. Instead of using acrylic paint, I decided to use my Posca pens instead. I think Posca pens will be easier to use on the wood, plus I can use my pastel Poscas. But look at this, my pastel Poscas are tiny compared to the originals. I think I bought the wrong size. I transferred my sketch onto the wood with a pencil. Actually, you know what? I lied. Sorry, I'm using acrylic paint to create a background and seal in the sketch. The sketch is still slightly visible, see? Now it's time to start coloring this little guy in, but before I tell you the background of this character, let's talk about wood. Wood doesn't absorb color like a canvas. The paint basically sits on top of the wood, creating vibrant and rich colors. I normally don't paint with Posca pens because they tend to tear up paper. Plus, the thick, juicy paint tends to bleed, but I don't have to worry about any of those issues on wood, which is why I chose wood for object number 2. Back to the main character here. He is a purple bunny that loves to create art and farts. Basically, my husband and I are 5-year-olds and we love fart jokes. We probably make 5 or 10 fart jokes a day. So when I wanted to create a new character, it's no surprise that I wanted it to be farting. Of course, for obvious reasons, he's purple. I mean, who doesn't love this color in every shade? Yes, the artsy fartsy bunny is permanently in shock, but he's not alone. I'll tell you more about that in a minute, right after I finish adding the finishing touches. This includes all of the black outlines under the body, feet, and farts. It also includes his iconic paint palette filled with a range of rainbow colors and his eyes. Oh, he's so cute. The artsy fartsy bunny could not have had a better introduction into this world. This object is inspired by the one and only Mariah Elizabeth. It's a squishy I found at Dollar Tree. I think it's supposed to be a cake, but who knows? If there's one thing I've learned about painting these, it's that I have to sand it down and trim off the edges. Let's clean this up a little bit. Now it's time for the gesso. I need to get rid of this disgusting gold color. It took about 3 coats of gesso to cover this thing. What is this thing? All I see is a monster with 2 eyes and a big nose. I think I'll even add frosting to his head with something else, but I haven't figured that out yet. And of course, I'm making this monster purple. No surprises there. You should have seen that coming. Since I'm painting on so many random objects today, I'm using my favorite colors. There's always a chance that any of these projects could go south. But if they're my favorite color, it might just save them from being a complete disaster. I made a mistake. I can't put this down because the entire thing is wet, so I'll see you in 20 minutes. This looks pretty good. Time for the dark purple. Okay, this looks kind of bad, but here's the thing with paint. Sometimes it's transparent and you have to mix it with another color to make it opaque. I decided to mix the dark purple with a little bit of white, and it's working much better now. Do you see the monster yet? This is coming along nicely. Get back here. I picked this squishy for random object number 3 because I wanted to break away from flat surfaces and try something different. Squishies come in a variety of shapes and sizes, which will allow you to transform them into unique characters and designs. But let me warn you, the amount of labor this took was insane. It took an entire Saturday to prep gesso and paint this little monster. I also made a lot of mistakes. I was constantly smudging and smearing the paint, which meant I had to keep remixing the previous colors for touch-ups. So if the colors you see at the end of this video look a little different, that's why. The best part about painting squishies is that you can keep adding more highlights and details to make it stand out. And before I knew it, I was done. Or so I thought, because now I want to add wings right here. I'm going to pull out my construction paper and do a little color matching. I think this pink is perfect. Oh look, the wings are already made. Don't you love video magic? I cut out the shape and taped them onto some wooden sticks. I'm poking a hole with this sewing tool and jamming the wings into it. I'm repeating the same process on the other side, and she's done. But I have a huge problem because I loved this project and I have more food squishies that I want to turn into monsters. What do you think? Should I make some squishy food monsters? Give this video a like if you want to see that. The time has come to paint my paintbrush microphone because an overwhelming amount of you have said to do it. It's looking a little rough, so I think a makeover is a great idea. If you ever wondered how it works, it's just a mic taped to the back of a paintbrush. I'm really high tech over here. This paintbrush has been with me for a while, and I just realized that I've been using this paintbrush as a microphone for a whole year. I didn't even celebrate. I started using it as a joke in this video, but when I played back the recording, I liked the quality and kept using it. Well, I guess this makeover is a belated birthday celebration, so I better do it right. I'm covering it completely in gesso. I have to get it in every nook and cranny. This is the longest part of the makeover. I think I have to use 3 coats of gesso to get everything ready for the next step. And the bristles aren't sticking together, so I resorted to clipping them together with these clips. It wouldn't be a Courageous Painting paintbrush without some purple. I also painted the bristles to look like a paintbrush, but I'll be changing that later. Now I'm stumped. Aside from painting this purple, I can't think of anything special to do with this paintbrush. But then it hits me. I can create something special. Something that will have a new birthday. Not something, someone. Let me introduce you to Mike, my MC, aka the new and improved paintbrush microphone. Tell them a little bit about yourself, Mike. Well, obviously I'm the one who does all the talking, so I'll just tell you. Mike is shy, but full of great ideas. When he found out that he was my new MC, he immediately wanted magenta and cyan for his hair. His idea, not mine. He's always smiling because he has no other choice. It's literally painted on, and he doesn't go anywhere without his bow tie. The rest of him is naked, but you know, I don't judge. Oh, sorry, my bad. Happy birthday, Mike. Welcome to Courageous Painting. I saved the most difficult object for last. This is a vinyl record, and because its surface is so weird, I have to freehand my design directly onto it. I'm using my Sharpie Creative markers. Since vinyl records aren't an absorbent surface and these markers can work on glass, I'm confident everything will be okay. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation where you can't sketch on the object, start with a white underbase. Treat the white layer like a sketch and plan out your drawing. It makes it easier to make adjustments with the white layer than a full layer of color. Plus, the white will make everything on top of it look more vibrant. Once you have the underbase complete, you can start going in with color. The thing I love about Sharpie Creative Markers is how easy they are to blend. Since the vinyl surface isn't absorbent, I can easily blend all of my colors together. Whenever my nib gets dirty, I just take a paper towel or a sheet of paper and I scribble on it until the marker color returns to normal. I repeat this process until all of my flowers are filled in and shaded to my liking. These have been my go-to marker for quite a while now, and I'm impressed. I'll put an affiliate link in my description so you can purchase them and try them for yourself. I chose a vinyl record for the final object because a non-traditional surface like a vinyl record will challenge you to try new techniques and think differently about your art. I chose flowers for the record because, like I always say, if you're unsure of yourself or afraid of getting started, choose a color scheme and a subject matter that you like to create. Sometimes as artists, we think that we have to constantly create new things and draw new subjects, but you can draw or paint the same thing over and over again as many times as you like. Drawing the same thing multiple times is what helps you gain confidence in yourself and your art. I knew I could freehand flowers, and you know what? They turned out so good that I had the confidence to add a hummingbird. I was pleasantly surprised how well I freehanded this little hummingbird and added all of the details on the flowers. I didn't expect half of the projects in this video to turn out good because the majority of them are out of my comfort zone. I invite you to try painting on some of the objects featured in this video to see where your inspiration takes you.